You're listening to the Learning English Through Football podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the show for all those who love the beautiful game of football and who want to improve their English. My name is Damien and I am based in London, where the weather is definitely getting cooler and the clocks have gone back an hour last weekend, meaning that I am now 9 hours behind Damon, the other member of the Learn English Through Football podcast team. Of course, Damon is in Tokyo, Japan. What's the weather like where you are? And what time difference is there between where you are and the Learn English Through Football podcast team in London or in Tokyo? By the way, happy Diwali to all those who celebrate. You might be able to hear some fireworks going off in the background. There are lots of celebrations here in East London.
Hola a todos, estáis escuchando languagecaster.com.
That message was in Spanish, and we'll have some more stingers or messages throughout today's show in different languages. Try and guess what they are.
Namaste, मेरा नाम है राघव और आप अभी सुन रहे हो languagecaster.com.
Right. On today's podcast, we will be looking at some more football language from the footballing week, including some words and phrases that describe late goals in games. We will also look at one or two phrases from El Clásico, including move 6 points clear and lob. And of course, we'll also look ahead to this weekend's football in our predictions competition.
Je luistert naar languagecaster.com.
Last weekend in the Premier League saw some incredible moments as teams scored really late goals in 5 of the 10 matches. And these goals were decisive, which means that they changed the result of the game. So from a defeat to a draw, or from a draw to a win. A pity, of course, that my favourite team, Tottenham, were not able to score a late goal, or indeed any goal, against Crystal Palace. Mateta scored the decisive goal for Palace in that one. I wonder how Liverpool fan Damon is feeling after his side's 2-2 draw away at Arsenal. They scored a late goal to equalise for the second time in the game. And this goal came in the 81st minute, though, as we will see, this was nowhere near the latest goal from the weekend.
Du lyssnar på languagecaster.com.
Now, before we look at some of the language around late goals, let's remind ourselves of some of the scores from the Premier League last weekend. Brentford 4, Ipswich 3, Everton 1, Fulham 1, West Ham United 2, Manchester United 1, Brighton 2, Wolves 2, and Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 1. In every one of these games, a goal, a decisive goal that changed the result, was scored after 90 minutes. Bournemouth striker Evanilson scored an equaliser against Aston Villa in the 96th minute. Everton scored an equaliser in the 94th minute. Brentford won it late with a 96-minute winner, while Wolves scored twice late on in their game against Brighton in the 88th minute and then an equaliser in the 93rd minute. West Ham scored a controversial penalty in the 92nd minute on Sunday to snatch all 3 points against Manchester United, a defeat that led to United manager Erik ten Hag being sacked. Here are some words and phrases from those weekend games. Number 1, injury time equaliser. Injury time, sometimes known as added or stoppage time, is the time that a referee adds to the regulation time, so 45 or 90 minutes plus the additional time. last gasp winner. The idea of last gasp suggests that there is absolutely no time left in the game, and if we follow this phrase with winner, then one of the teams has won in a dramatic manner. Another way of saying this is late leveller or last gasp equalizer. The term levelled the game late on. They drew the game with a late goal. Number 3, feels like a defeat or a win. This is an interesting phrase as it is connected to psychology and how we feel about the final result. If a team is winning for a long time but then concedes a late equaliser, as Fulham did at Everton, then it feels as if they have dropped 2 points. The players would not feel so happy at the end of the game, even though an away draw would not be seen as such a bad result at all. As for Everton, the draw could be seen like a win, as they had not really looked like scoring all game. So, the late equalising goal felt like a winner to them. Number 4, to come from 2-0 down to win or to draw. This expression is similar to the phrase to come from behind, which means one team has been losing and then scores more than one goal to lead the game. So, for example, losing 1-0 and then winning 2-1. This is a come from behind win. And number 5, to snatch a draw. This means to draw the game, but maybe the team did not really deserve the point, or maybe that the equaliser was a late, dramatic goal. Here are some of the headlines from the games last weekend. Many of them use some of the language we've just discussed. Number 1, Bryan Mbeumo scored a 96-minute winner as Brentford beat Ipswich Town in a 7-goal thriller. Number 2, Delap scored to level matters, but Mbeumo's late strike means Ipswich are still winless in the Premier League. Number 3, Wolves off bottom after late comeback draw at Brighton. Number 4, Bournemouth rock Villa with last gasp Evan-Nielsen leveller. Number 5, Bournemouth striker Evan-Nielsen scored with the last touch of the game to rescue a point at Aston Villa. And number 6, Beto snatches Everton draw with Fulham in added time.
Esteu escoltant languagecaster.com.
El Clásico. Well, an amazing second-half performance from Barcelona saw them easily defeat hosts Real Madrid last weekend. Madrid were hoping to extend their unbeaten run to a record equaling 43 games, but instead they were thrashed 4-0 by the Catalan side. Lamine Yamal scored Barca's third goal, which made him the youngest ever goal scorer in El Clásico. A wonderful result for Barcelona. To go 6 points clear. This result, 4-0, allowed Barcelona to move 6 points clear, and this expression is used to show the difference in points between the top side in the league and the next best. Barcelona are now 6 points ahead of Real Madrid in second place. They were 3 points ahead before the match, but after defeating Los Blancos, they moved, or they went, 6 points clear. We can also hear this phrase when describing a team near the relegation spots, so a win will move them 3 points away from the relegation places, for example. To lob. The fourth goal was scored by in-form striker Rafinha. He was put through by a long ball from the defence, and he was faster to the ball than the Madrid defence, and as the ball was bouncing, he lifted it over the keeper's head into the net. This type of goal is known as a lob. He lobbed the keeper, and it shows that a player is really confident in their technique and ability. It really was a beautiful goal for Rafinha to cap off a fine performance from Barcelona.
State ascoltando languagecaster.com.
So you can find out more about some of the words and phrases that we have already discussed in today's show, as well as hundreds more football expressions and cliches by coming along to our football language glossary.
G'day, my name is Erin. I'm from Brisbane and I'm a West Ham supporter and you're listening to languagecaster.com.
Okay, let's take a look at the predictions table, and after last week's matches, I am top, but only by 1 point from Damon and the guests. I think my Champions League predictions helped me out. I didn't get anything from El Clásico, as I thought it would be a draw and not the easy win for Barca. I did think the Derby d'Italia between Inter and Juventus would be a draw, but I only went for a 1-1 draw and not the crazy end-to-end 4-4 draw that happened. Still, that 1 point sent me to the top of the predictions for this week. So, in this week's games, we are going to look at 5 matches, all from the Premier League, including a West London derby between Brentford and Fulham. We also have Manchester United hosting Chelsea. I wonder, will there be a new manager bounce for United after Ten Hag's departure? I think United will win this one, while I also think Newcastle will defeat Arsenal, Liverpool will beat Brighton, and Spurs will bounce back to defeat Aston Villa. What do you think the results will be? What are your predictions for this weekend's games?
languagecaster.com.
If you want to let us know your predictions, or if you have any questions or comments about any of the language from today or any other football language, then drop us an email at admin@languagecaster.com. Don't forget, we also have a football language forum where you can ask or answer any questions you have on the language of football. And don't forget, we also have YouTube. You can find lots of our podcasts with transcript there as well. So please spread the word, give us a like or a follow.
คุณกำลังฟัง languagecaster.com.
Thanks for that message, which was in Thai. We also heard some stingers in Italian, Dutch, Spanish, Swedish, Bemba, Hindi, and French. And how many of those did you guess right? Thanks everyone for listening today. We looked at the phrases to lob, which described a beautiful goal by Rafinha in the Clásico, and also the phrase to move 6 points clear, which is how many points Barcelona are now ahead at the top of La Liga. We also looked at some language around the topic of late goals, including last gasp, late winner, and to snatch a draw. Let us know if you hear these words in any language during this week's football. And don't forget, there's a transcript for this podcast with lots of vocabulary support for you. Enjoy all the football this weekend. Let us know what your predictions are, and we'll be back soon with some more football language. Bye-bye.